Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Happy. Remind me, do not try and eat a hot cross bun 3 seconds before going live. That's really.
Hey, Richie, don't try to eat a hot cross bun 3 seconds before we go live.
I've learnt my lesson now. Hello, my lovely.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Now, people may notice that we're missing someone today. Poor Ben is unwell, unfortunately, so can't come to our live today. So, Ben, if you're watching or catching up on this at some point, we hope you get well very, very soon, and we do miss you. Yes.
And
so yeah.
Since you're not here, we will talk about you, and we
Yes.
will I will poke fun at you. Richie would never do that.
So we just got to be, even more to cover. We've got to have the energy of 3 people today.
I think I have enough cards for 3 people.
I think I've got enough cards for 4 or 5 people, to be brutally honest.
We were talking backstage, people. It's like, how many decks do you have? Well, I lost count at 15.
This was quite good going through, trying to looking for aces of cups and things to pull out and show people.
Yeah, and it's amazing because there, the ace capsulizes, certain things, but then these artists' images, and it's like, ooh, I see that. Ooh, I see that.
Run with it. Particularly, that's how I felt going through it. Is that, swords, wands, all that lot. Yes, but ace of cups, you can do loads with it, as indeed many, many people have.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about today: the Ace of Cups and the Holy Grail, as it happens to be Easter weekend.
Yes.
Fits together quite nicely, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Should we say hello to a few people?
Hello, a few people.
Hello, a few people. There's lots of people in. Lisa, on the replay. Let's go watch on the replay. Happy holiday weekend to you too, my love.
Yes, Lisa. Good to see you. Thanks for watching back. And Lisa, are you watching it back faster at a double speed? Yeah. Because then we sound like mice.
I wouldn't do that. I'd slow it all down a bit, actually, just to enjoy it for even more.
Right.
Whales. You can have mice, or you can have whales.
Yeah. Or whales from mice. Sorry.
Hello, Calla. So lovely to see you here, Calla Lizzie. That will make it twice. I'm actually on time today. Huzzah to you. Well done.
Nice.
Personal victory. Jamie's here. Let's chat, Jamie.
Jamie's here, so I have put the tiny hands away.
Put them away. Lock them away. We don't want to see those for Easter.
No. Tiny hands that make Easter eggs look huge. They make them look like dinosaur eggs. Now you're all going to be looking at your eggs tomorrow going, wow.
Yeah. That's supposing I get some. I might not. I might not have been good enough for the Easter bunny to have delivered. Linda is here. Hello, Linda. Welcome. I hope you're doing very well. I hope I haven't put people off doing a Saturday, Saturday. It's not Friday, because I normally do a Friday, don't I? So this is an extra special one.
But you know what? Anytime with Richie Longman Tarot is a good time.
I can subscribe both of our channels. Thank you. Redwing. Hi, Ben and Gerald and everyone. Nice to see you here. Yes, apparently we're gonna be interesting. I do hope you're gonna get something out of this. It's gonna be good. Hope so. Yeah. Ready. Oh, Jamie's ready. Is that how you do it?
That's good.
Ready.
It has to be shouted.
There they are. There we go.
Because I was talking and Richie was being very nice.
We were, yeah. I'm sorry. We're talking and Didn't realise we had to go live, did we?
Oops. Sorry, people.
Indigo Jaguar Intuitive Arts. Hi. Yeah. Hope you're doing very well, my lovely. Nice crown, says Calla Lizzie.
Thank you. It's a small thing.
It's not an Easter bonnet, though, is it?
Shoot, that's in the other room, I believe.
In the Easter bonnet wing.
It's in the Easter bonnet wing, yes.
Yeah. Look who's here. Deanne. Hello, my lovely.
Deanne.
Lovely to see everyone here. Hope I haven't missed anyone. Moon Scarab. Hello. Welcome to you. Hi. Get well soon, Ben. Everyone's sending their love. That's lovely. Kindness and Light is here. Hello.
Hey, Lisa.
Soon, Ben. Thank you very much. And Sarah's here as well. Hello, my lovely. I hope you're doing very well. Good to see you here.
Hi.
Sue is here, my lovely friend Sue. I hope you're doing very well. Love a card. If we're not doing polls tonight, that's in a couple of weeks' time. We are back with Longstash, aren't we, Gerald? That's
yes.
For the Beltane, but we will be doing some free readings then, Sue. So I hope you're well. Anyone else? Making a noise there. Aspasia's here. Hello, my lovely. Hope you're very well. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Sip. Deanne is in, so she'll be watching.
It's not much of a chalice, but
we'll get on to that in a minute there. So Vanessa is here. Hello, Vanessa, my lovely. Hope
Vanessa.
You are very, very well. And I think I've got to the bottom of the list. So if you are watching, not commenting in chat, you're very, very welcome here. Love to know your thoughts about what we're talking about today with the Ace of Cups and the Holy Grail. So without any further ado, Gerald, let's get on. Let's find out, what do you know about the Holy Grail and Grail lore? Anything?
I know that the Holy Grail is supposedly the cup that Jesus used at the Last Supper.
Mm-hmm.
It is the quest for the Holy Grail is something that knights have done.
King Arthur, yeah.
And as well as Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then was it, what was the other movie?
What, the Monty Python?
No, the Indiana Jones.
Have you seen that film?
Yes, I have seen it.
I love that film. One of my favorite Indiana.
I can't remember, but that's when I actually figured out, I'm like, oh, dude is right. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Absolutely. So. And then to come up to date, of course, there's the Da Vinci Code and all of that stuff that goes with it.
And Jane the Seeker just put something in that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, Mary Magdalene's womb. Absolutely. I think that's pretty good. So I think you've got it there. So yeah, it's the cup of the Last Supper. Mm-hmm. It's apparently also was the cup that Joseph of Arimathea caught some blood from Christ when he was on the cross.
Okay.
And that's where this Grail lore then goes into Arthurian legend, because Joseph of Arimathea apparently came to Britain, to Glastonbury, and hid the chalice at Chalice Well. So then you've got the Knights of Avalon, and you've got the King Arthur and the search for it all there. So absolutely, you're spot on with all of that one there. Indiana Jones, love the Indiana Jones films. There was a book. Have you ever heard of the book, The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail? Is that right? I've got the title of it right. Back in 1980, because that caused a bit of a storm. Have you heard about that one?
No. Why did it cause a storm?
Well, basically, it was the premise of the Da Vinci Code. It was the first time this book was published that talked about Christ having a lineage of a family tree that can be traced to the French royal family at that time, or obviously before the revolution there. And that is therefore this is floating around in the 80s, this book. And then Dan Brown got onto the idea very similar with the Da Vinci Code, and I think there was a bit of a court case over it all as to how much he'd approximated off this original. But this book is still in print, The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail. Well worth a read if you fancy that one. So, yeah. And then that's when this whole Mary Magdalene, the chalice of Christ and the bloodline of Christ came in as well. So lots to talk about and perfect time to be doing that as well there. Callis says the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail was huge, very controversial at the time. It must have been. Can you imagine that, Gerald? I mean, all of a sudden, you know, we found a bloodline that goes back to Christ, and yeah, could you imagine? Yeah.
Oh, it's on Audible.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I purchase responsibly, and you know, I'm like, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, I will say about the Da Vinci Code and the idea about the Holy Blood and Holy Grail. My mother, a devout Catholic, when the Da Vinci Code came out, she was just very much. She's like, going, well, doesn't it make sense? He was 33, and you know he would have been married.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. And for my mother to say that, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
My mom is cooler than your mom. I mean,
can you remember? Have you ever read the Da Vinci Code? Did you read it?
I have, yes. I found it.
I mean, it's a brilliant book. I have to say, it's a real page turner. And the film is still really good. And I like the film because you actually get to see all the different places and stuff like that. But yeah. But again, it caused a bit of an outcry, didn't it, with the church at the time and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's kind of nice that Mary Magdalene has kind of got the recognition back of just rather than just being a kind of scarlet prostitute that was in the Bible story. She's kind of been moved back into center stage, which is really important.
And she could have been those things.
Exactly, yeah.
But, you know, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So... Oh, here, and for entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely. Quite right. We're just having a chat. We're here just to talk all about the Easter and the Holy Grail. I'm really sorry my camera's going a bit funny. It's because I've got it set up to do some close-up of cards in a minute. So I have to sit very still because it is auto.
I love it. Do you think he's going to be able to sit really still, people? Because I'm not sure.
Let's read some comments. Guarded by the Fisher King. Beth is correct. It's going back to the original Arthurian story, yeah? And Deanne says the sacrificial blood is what gives it power, yeah? Sarah's getting very excited and shouting Excalibur at the top of her voice.
Nice.
Reaching back into your literature classes. I love that one there.
Impressive.
Very impressive. Jane the Seeker is here. Hello, Jane. Jesus' bloodline in France, supposedly. Absolutely. I think it's always really good to stick supposedly onto the end of all these sentences. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Heather says, your mother was very progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cal is saying all rabbis had to be married at that time, so Jesus was a rabbi. Makes perfect sense there. Absolutely. You guys have got so much to add to this.
I thought that said Jesus was a rabbit.
I nearly read rabbit, actually. Adds another slant onto the Easter rabbit story, doesn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, love me some Mary Magdalene. Oh, absolutely. And Beth says there's a new book out on her. I feel like Jane is reading it. Oh, so yeah, there we go. And Stories of Sir Galahad and Percival. You're quite right, St. Percival. I've never read the Arthurian part of that story, so fascinating, absolutely fascinating. He could have been a rabbit. We don't know. Okay. So let's get on to talking about the Ace of Cups, because obviously there is a huge crossover that's going on here. So I've got here the original. Let's go back to the art. I'm missing out the Marseille one because I'm going straight to the original RWS there. And I mean, that is a real, again, Grail card that's going on there. We've even got the dove. I think we've got a wafer there to suggest the communion sacrament there. And these, I can never remember what these things are called. These little drops, they've got a special word. It's a part of the Jewish alphabet, and I can never remember what it is called. So my apologies for that one there. But we kind of do it's almost Monty Python-esque here, a hand coming out the cloud, isn't it?
It really is. That's a very good point. I love that.
What do you think about this card, Gerald? How do you like this design for the original one?
It's expected because it's so popular, and it makes sense. I like the idea of the hand holding it. I like the water coming out of it, and it looks like the Backyard Naturalist Tarot said the drops are the Kabbalistic yods, and so does Heather. So
yeah, thank you.
I'm okay with that because it does give an idea of heavenly intervention or otherworldly.
Yeah.
What about you?
I tell you what, I'm a bit upset by. This is just me as a purist. The water that's coming out of it looks a bit like a fountain rather than a cascade of water. And that's why when I looked at some of the other aces that I've been picking, you know, I like the water to either not have any water flowing out of it or to have it sort of dripping out, but not looking like it's shooting out like a fountain. That's the only thing that upsets me slightly with this one. But I like the lilies and I like the pool of water underneath. And so I suppose this is a really good time to talk about what the Ace of Cups means to people, isn't it? And how perhaps we can tie that in with thoughts of the Holy Grail and bits and pieces there. So I'm going to let you, I would have let Ben answer this one first, but he's not here. So Gerald, I'm going to throw it to you. What's your take on the Ace of Cups?
I think it's a heart opening, and it is very much, it's a new thing. It's a new beginning. So I think it's a new way of feeling. It's a new way of love, experiencing love. And I also think it's also it's a new way of healing. It's the beginning of healing, and it could simply be it's a heart opening experience.
Nice.
So
yeah, I mean, this bit always reminds me, I suppose, going back to the Indiana Jones film. And I think we alluded to this one. It's, I haven't seen the film for a long time, but they go into a room, don't they, where there's lots of different cups around, and the Nazis are there with Indiana Jones, and they're trying to guess which one's the Holy Grail. And the first Nazi picks one up, and he goes for a really jeweled and golden one, doesn't he? And he goes, that's the cup of a king or something, he says, and of course it's wrong, and he dies because of it. And then somebody else picks another one, and it's Indiana Jones that turns around and goes, spoiler alert, that's the cup of a carpenter, and it's just a very simple wooden cup, isn't it? And that reminds me a little bit of this. This is just a little bit perhaps OTT with the cup, and some of the other ones that I've picked out are a little bit simpler. Yeah, I get the emotions, and I from this card I get emotions that come with this design, and the fact that it can overflow and wash and cleanse. But to me, it's love and emotions, and I often find it for some reason, quite a tearful card. I don't quite know why. I suppose it's tears of joy, but I also find that water element in there to be kind of very deep, very what's the word? A bit tidal, so can change. Sometimes you're all aboard with your emotions and you're in control of them, and other times they can just rip you apart and flood you in many ways. So that's what I get from this card.
I really appreciate that because, speaking, it's an ace, so it's something new and it's new emotions. And I think new emotions, the ace and the Holy Grail feel like they would fill you deeply. You would be overwhelmed regardless of what the emotion was. And so it's very much like, wow. And somebody just in chat said it looks like more like the traditional Catholic chalice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I served mass, so absolutely.
Yeah.
Linda.
Well, exactly. You got the whole symbol. I mean, again, that's a really important thing to think about. If it hadn't been for that part of Easter, the Last Supper, there wouldn't be the communion and the mass and everything that goes with it, because that's what most people took out. This is a bit feed on. This is my body. This is my, this is my blood and all that. You can tell it's a long time since I've taken communion, but you get the gist of what I'm talking about. But it's that important moment that people go regularly and take part in, to be part of that original ceremony, original Last Supper, isn't it?
Well, yes, and it absolutely resembles that. It does look like the chalice at church if you have a mass. But thinking about the Last Supper was a Seder, so they were celebrating, and all of the things associated with the tradition about that. And it speaks so much to connection and commitment.
Yeah.
So
I also see tears, as I said, in this one, so that you do have. It's a really joyful card. I actually really love getting the Ace of Cups. I was quite excited, but I also, in this case, I suppose I've just been watching a program actually that's been showing on National Geographic about the Easter story, and it is obviously a time of great emotions and sadness, and then joy and jubilation, and that's coming across today with this card.
and you said it's very tidal. It waxes and wanes very much because there's this sorrow, there's this loss, and then there's this rejoicing. And this is part of in a lot of Christianity, hashtag for whatever, is the holiday. This is what the holiday is about. This is what the church is about. It's not about Christmas. It's about this.
Yeah.
It's about Easter. So,
and that's really interesting because, I mean, we've talked in our long stash about Ostara, and all the pagan part of it all. And yet, for me, this is possibly the most religious point in the year for me. Easter, I really do, think about church and all the times of being to church and the sacraments. And I talk to my friends who do regularly go to church and are church goers on that one there, and quite often talk about how the two groups meet together, where the meeting point is.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. But I actually think that, this is a real high point. It is the high point of the Christian church at this point. And I can kind of feel that in the air. And actually, Christmas is very nice, but this is the thing that started Christianity off, isn't it?
Yeah.
This season, this.
I actually remember I was taking a class about how to give good training programs, and somebody the instructor used the example of his pastor on Easter Sunday bringing a birthday cake and setting it down and then lighting the candle, and everybody's going, what is going on? And it's just like, this is the birth of this faith.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, ooh, that is really, really powerful.
It is. Yeah.
So, such a striking image.
I'm really pleased talking to you about this, actually, because we're getting ideas I'd never heard of and thought about before. I'm going to just go to chat because people are putting some lovely comments in.
They've been active.
So cups represent the heart chakra and all emotion. And I was actually, that reminds me, I was just going to say, we talked about the tides in this and changing tides, because Easter is, of course, the only festival that is fixed by the moon, isn't it?
Yes, I believe you are correct.
Yeah. And that's why Easter jumps about. Sometimes it's in March, sometimes it's in April. It's to do with the first full moon after whenever it is, and I can't remember the details of it. And again, that full moon pulling tides and stuff like that is pretty crucial. Apologies again for my camera, but it'll pick itself up in a moment. What does the W on the cup mean? Well, I don't know, Linda, and I've read a few books, including Rachel Pollack's book, and it wasn't mentioned in there as well. We don't quite know. So
what?
Somebody does know in there what that one is. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Perhaps it's written in there. Perhaps you can find it there. Deanne says, I love the Mary Magdalene book by Megan Watterson. Longer title, but ends with the Christianity we haven't tried yet. It's so good. And that author is also the creator of the Divine Feminine Oracle. I didn't know that.
Nice.
And there's a pre-order currently for the Mary Magdalene Oracle by the same person. Yeah. And Linda says, and don't forget, the wine is transformed into blood. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Passover. Hello, Maruta. Good to see you here. And hello, anyone else that's joined us. Good to see you here. Calla Lizzie says, overwhelmed by happiness, tears of joy. Yeah. And Linda says, the resurrection is the central mystery of the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Maruta says, in Latvian pagan language, we call Easter the big day. I like that.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just looking at this, and she references King Arthur's Glorious Kingdom and the King Arthur legend, the Holy Grail, the Holy Ghost in the world. But you're right. It doesn't say anything about the W.
The answer is argued whether it's an M or a W, and a few ideas for each. I have some notes based on something Mary Greer wrote: weight, womb, wisdom, etc. Thank you. And Sarah says emotional vulnerability and being in touch with your emotions. Yeah. It really is about emotions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jane says, that's why I reset at Easter, not New Year. Like that.
That makes sense.
Hello, Arlene. Arlene says this is the most important day in the Catholic religion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Jewish holidays are set by the moon, aren't they? Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And the Greek Orthodox is different than like Catholicism, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't know very much about the Greek Orthodox Church, unfortunately.
I don't.
No. Robin is here. Hello, Robin. Oh, it looks like I just arrived in time for a cup or something. Absolutely. And Kristen is here. Hello, Kristen. And Robin says, I love your crown. Richie is wearing a tiny, teeny crown of light on his head. Absolutely.
He did that on purpose.
People are saying perhaps the W or the M for Mary Magdalene. I'm just going to put the cat on the floor. You get down. There you go. And Deanne says, I tend to see it as an M for Mary because when upside down, the cup is about birth. I read that somewhere as well. Brilliant facts. Thank you. Thank you for putting in your thoughts there. So you may not know the Greek Orthodox, but you've got the hat for it. Yeah, I can see that.
There you go. Talk about some outfits.
Yeah,
I'm going to do a little bit of research because I am curious about the symbolism for that, because I think the pictorial guide oh, wait a minute. Does that have...
Open the copper here.
Excuse me. Please hold.
Doesn't say.
I don't have it. It's not where it should be. Richie, where is what I'm looking for? I was looking for Tarot Disassembled to see if there would be anything in the guidebook, and my guidebook is not right next to me.
You did that. I'm going to eat some hot cross buns.
All right. I am the king in my own mind. That's true. I don't see. Please hold. Nope, can't find it. Sorry, people. Everybody like and subscribe, tune in, and then we'll be talking about this sometime in the future. It might be next year, but we'll still do it.
Yeah. Deanne's suggesting maybe it's in the Easter bonnet wing. You put it.
Oh, well, if it's in the Easter bonnet wing, right now I'm staying out of there because the bunnies. The bunnies for Oster are, turning into birds to lay the eggs in honor of the goddess. Anyhow,
people are talking about whether it's W for water or M for Mary.
Or is it M for Maruda?
Perhaps.
Oh, plaid meggings. No.
That's one of the theories. I quite like the fact that people can make up from it what they want to. That's quite nice.
Well, but I like that about. I'll bring it back around. I like that about the aces, because the aces are the full potential of everything. It's just the seed, and sometimes we don't know the seed that we're planting, and suddenly it shows up.
Yeah. I was just thinking of something else actually, and how the cup or the Grail, and also therefore the Ace of Cups, has really taken on our thoughts, and it's still with us, isn't it? It's something that, yes, we have the image of the cross. Obviously, that is the symbol of the religion, but the Grail itself just keeps coming back into people's minds without searching for it or finding it or finding a new way of interpreting. I'll tell you what, even have you ever seen the program The Detectorists? Have they got that in the States?
I haven't seen it.
It's got Mackenzie Crook, from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, yes.
Yeah, that's right. And The Office, the UK Office. He's very tall and thin. Anyway, it's about metal detectorists, and it's him and his friend. And it's a kind of very sweet comedy. And it's been on for 3 seasons, and then they stopped making it a few years ago. Well, they made a Christmas special. Spoiler alert. Okay, spoiler alert. It was about them finding this bit of gold in the ground, and they took it to the British Museum. They got all really excited. And they worked out that it's the box that would have held the Holy Grail. And actually, they had dug the Holy Grail up and just looked at it and gone, it's just an old cup, and actually put it on the finds table at this detectorist club, and somebody had made a cup of tea out of it, and put it away somewhere. So, even now, the story of the Holy Grail is still in our society, and we're still finding ways of working with it and looking for it and telling stories about it. And I just love it. It's a bit like we need this as a thing in society. It's a kind of one of those ongoing quests and to understand it all. And going to Glastonbury, again, Chalice Wells, it's a really special place to go. And really peaceful and a magical place. So, and I love that by having this, all this magic is still available in our lives. Sorry, I went off a complete tangent there. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Because it gave me a chance to look at. I was looking up online, and the great letter of the supernal mother is traced in the spray of the fountain. So it's like it's perhaps from the tree of life. Could be Mary. It could be mother. Could be the Sephora of the mother is 2, and Chakma, which translates to wisdom. So Mary and wisdom. And so I think I'll let that one go. But if Rosemary from Good Journeys Tarot were here, she would probably know it. So I'll let it go. I'll just take a sip and be done.
Robin, they don't do biscuits. They do buns, which I'm eating right now. So there we go. That's your hot cross bun. I suppose we better get it up the right way. So there we go. I'm enjoying these at the moment.
Now I want a hot cross bun, people. Does it have raisins in it?
Yeah,
Or
it's got fruit and I've got a bit of butter on it. And cinnamon. It's kind of cinnamon.
cinnamon?
I like them toasted with butter on them. And you can make really nice puddings, like a bread and butter pudding, but hot cross buns. But I was reading something. Another interesting fact that although obviously we think that's something to do with Easter, it's believed that it actually might be something to do with the cross-quarter days. And it's
nice.
A symbol of that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to share. May I share one from the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, the Revelation edition?
Let's start. Yeah.
It's called the Holy Grail.
Oh, can I make you big on that? Oh no, let's make you big.
That's pretty good.
You can fit in there. That's fine.
So it's called the Holy Grail, and at the bottom it says Ace of Chalices, the Purifying. So, and we see a lot of the similar images. However, I like this one better because I like how the fountain is behind the chalice, and then we have the dove, but then we also have the lotus underneath. It's just, and this on film it looks. Oh, excuse me, I was out in the yard. It looks like a pearl, but it's a sphere. So
that's amazing. Now, what did you say they were lotuses? You said there.
Yes.
Because in the original argument, they've got water lilies there as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, these are water lilies. Sorry.
Yeah,
they're water lilies.
I wonder.
You're right, Richie. Let's all say that again so we can have that in the playback.
No, I was just wondering what the symbolism is of a water lily, apart from obviously water, but whether it has something else rather than just being a watering plant.
Of course, my good book is not right there. So signifies energy of benefit. Benefits. Geez, clarity, grace, and the pursuit of that which fulfills the heart. The seed to opportunity that will be your holy grail has been sown.
Yeah,
it is coming into your life. Emanates with profound beauty. So
there's a lot of love for hot cross buns in the room.
My buns are not cross. It's just plaid. But I wanted to show that one because, it's it could be like the dove seems to be taking off or landing gently, diving right into the cup. And this is one of those things that it's fascinating to where the different perspectives really add to that. Because we were talking about emotions, and there are so many different emotions that are going on. It's truly incredible. There you go. Beth has said, Richie, water lily represents birth and resurrection traditionally.
Perfect. Thank you. Should we have a look at some more cards?
Sure. Well, if you insist.
Well, I'm going to go with perhaps my favorite one first, which comes from the Wildwood Tarot.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Look at that.
I love that.
It's really, really tranquil.
Yes.
And the title to that one is The Waters of Life.
Yeah.
I just love it because you can really hear the sound of that water running. And you have, is there a little boat on there? Yeah, there's a little boat floating there, and a
Yeah.
stag and a swan, which feature throughout the wildwood quite a bit. Sorry, my hand's shaking. It's not focusing very well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And I'm
beautiful.
looking forward to, because I've been doing, studying the wildwood this year. And I'm looking forward to getting onto the cups part of it, because I've kind of had enough now of arrows. I have to
Mhm.
be honest.
Yeah.
I want to get onto something else now. So yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. In the Curious Travels tarot, here's where it is, and this is one where I what I appreciate about this, I'm going to hold it on the other side.
Mhm.
What I appreciate about this is that the hand is holding from underneath
Mm.
rather than from the side. So it looks like we're holding it up, and the cup is catching it, but then it's falling down the side. And if I'm holding it up, it could fall on my head, and it could refresh me, and it could regenerate my mind. And especially depending upon where this um offering the cup, offering the cup, and depending upon where this falls in a reading, that could really lay, okay, here's the emotions coming in, and here's how you're putting it or
Yeah.
putting it out. So
It's interesting how I'm just thinking the cup is always being filled and overflowing. I don't think from any of the cards I've got, I've actually got anyone drinking from it. In fact, with the cup suit per se, I don't tend to think of too many people drinking. There's people toasting, there's people knocking them over, there's people lining them up, there's people doing all sorts of things with them. But I don't actually ever remember seeing anyone drinking from it.
actually drinking, I'll pay attention to that, because out of the 18 or so that I pulled.
Hmm.
So
Red Wing says, water lilies lotus grow from the mud and become pure in Buddhism. Thank you. Didn't know that one there.
mm-hmm.
And Kara says, floating on the surface, but the roots go down deep. Yeah. Because of their often white petals, you also find them symbolizing purity and majesty. And the most interesting of the water lily symbolizes is enlightenment. Then that goes again with what we talked about with the emotions and productive phases as well, and things that go with that one there. I mean, we haven't really talked about love really, because again, that is, I think you said at the beginning, mentioned it a little bit, but again, it's the suit of love and emotions and desires, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lynn says that's a lovely image. That's the wildwood.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Sarah, because that is my next favourite one.
Ooh.
Which is the Druid craft.
I like that.
Oh, actually, for once, the glossy cardstock makes it look like the water's actually running.
Ooh. That's great.
That's nice. I like the moon in it. I like all the vegetation, and I love the fact the water is really cascading. We've got a salmon leap in it. It works very well with the wildwood.
It does. It does.
But that one's a real kind of, if we go back to the Indiana Jones idea, that cup's really gold and encrusted with jewels and stuff. It's not a plain cup there, that one. It's a real, bearing in mind that Druid craft, it's a real piece of treasure, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. And the goddess tarot, Chris Walder,
Mm-hmm.
we have this. And so it could be the sun, and there are images on the chalice itself.
Oh, what are they? Can you make them out?
There's the female symbol. It looks like there's some maybe some feathers too, or some plants. There's several versions of the female, so under there. So, and this one's has personal meaning for me. So it's beautiful.
Just interesting, actually. A lot of people are saying that they get the star card vibes from the Ace of Cups.
I can see that because of the imagery. Yeah, with the 8. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think I know I love the star card. I mean, what's not to love about the star card? And I get the same good vibe from that one as I do with the Ace of Cups. So, yeah. Yeah. No drinking here, sip sip. And Calla says, I've pulled the closest 6 aces out and nothing is drinking. Perhaps we stumbled upon something really important here. Good old Salmon of Wisdom jump in there. Salmon of Wisdom is often, isn't it, put in as something to do with the cups there. If someone were emptying it by drinking it, it wouldn't overflow. Good point. Perhaps it'd just be pouring down their face. All of my goblets are fancy to semi-fancy, except for the Zoltan. And one is the Mayan deck, and it looks like a simple clay cup. Lovely. Well, I'm going to pull out another one that's my favorite. That's the Spacious Tarot.
I have that one out too.
Yeah,
so
that one as well.
Show it. Yeah.
Put it up together. It goes really nicely again with, I suppose I like my Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups are like kind of sinks and things with water pouring out of them. But I didn't notice until I had a good look at this one, Gerald, that it's kind of transparent because you can see the mountain range.
That's why I liked it. Yeah. I liked that one because it was like, ooh, that's the cup itself is transparent. You don't oftentimes see that.
Yeah.
And it's really nice.
I get one of those singing bowl vibes from this one too. You know, those nice ones.
That's true.
Trickling of water. Fabulous. And in fact, the image of the mountain's clearer through the bowl than it is
That's true. Yes.
Through the background, isn't it?
Yes.
It's nice that. I don't use my Spacious Tarot enough, you know.
We could do readings with it.
Perhaps you ought to do a walkthrough, a casual about it.
That could be fun. Here's the Ace of Cups from the out of hand. And so this one, we actually see hands pouring it.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to that overflow meant to be a baptism. And I could see that because this is the water flowing out. Somebody's actually controlling it and it's falling. It's going over the edge. So.
And it's also got those clouds in it, like the original.
Yes, it does.
If I kind of do it that way up, it's.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah.
This is on a grey background. I don't quite know why it's on a grey back. I suppose they couldn't use blue because I've already had. You wouldn't see the water, would you? But that's a nice image, though. I like the way it's falling out. The
coming out of the.
Well, dang it! If Ms. Wiseman hasn't done it again, because she's now predicting what cards I'm coming up with next. She's already done it at the Druid Craft. It's like she knows my mind so well.
I love
the
that.
otter is super. I'm not a big fan of having animals like this, but this one is just wonderful. And it's got the lilies, it's got the dove, but reflecting in the bowl. And look at it, it's like lying, swimming on its back. It's ever so cute, carrying the cup.
And I like how the cup in the reflection of the cup we see the dove.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
I take it's not that I'm not a big hawk coming down to catch the otter, because that wouldn't be peaceful and tranquil.
But it would be emotional.
No wonder it's overflowing. No, that's definitely a dove. It's really cute image though, and I do like that one. Sarah, any other options you want to call me out on here on this one? There.
Oh my gosh!
I used to dislike anal decks. Now they're all my favourite. Yeah, and that's right. Otters just make you smile.
From
Ooh.
the Gilded Tarot, which it's by Kira Marchetti.
It is. What do we know about Mr. Marchetti? Anything important?
Well, yes, and I think people should like and subscribe to your channel, and then they'll find out more.
Yeah.
Just in a couple of weeks.
Get your Meggins on. Get your
Meggins
carnival masks out.
But this one, one of the things that I appreciate about this is I appreciate the moon phases.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the eyeball. And isn't it interesting that most of the times the cups that we see, or the chalices, they're over the top.
Yeah.
And do you think that is because of the importance of this tale? It's the hero's journey, search for the Holy Grail, and we've elevated it.
Good point. Yeah. It's gone from, well, I was thinking, because I had a little look around the internet on Holy Grails, what they should look like, and there's quite a few. Well, there are a couple around the world, churches and cathedrals that have them, and there's one, and I can't remember it. And there's no disrespect to whichever faith or wherever it was, but it was the most hideously gilded, bejeweled thing ever.
Yeah.
And it reminded me very much of that one that you've got there. And it's like, no, it just didn't feel right. It's that whole thing about, centuries ago, again, Cup of the King, the Holy Grail has to be something gold and blingy and wonderful. And it's amazing how we've rethought that, haven't we? And now it's just a simple cup. Now it's just a simple clay or wooden handmade thing. And I like that. And actually, that's probably what the cards I've picked are reflecting, that one. They're all quite simple.
And I have to say, I love Deanne's comment.
Let's find it.
It's just like,
you get to it. It's a solar card.
Well, and here's from the Tarot of Dreams. So we have,
and I have this one from him.
Oh, look at that! So, I think it says something about the importance of this card, that there's so many varieties to that.
Yeah, this one I don't know. It's a beautiful card, but then my cynical side says it reminds me of someone's party in their flat. Somebody's got really drunk and put the nice goblet in the fish tank by mistake, in a drunken.
I mean, hashtag for entertainment purposes only.
It's a little bit ornate, this one. I like it. Don't get me wrong. Of all the Marchetti ones, I think this is one of my favorites.
Are you saying that that's a bit over the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's one of the reasons I like Marchetti decks, because they are just so cheated. But I like the colors in this one, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and Maruda said it's from a shipwreck.
Oh.
I could see that. Oh,
okay. Well, talking of which, actually.
Bye, Jane. Purchase responsibly, know your limit. She's like, okay, my wallet can't take any more of this live.
Talking of shipwrecks.
Oh, which one is that?
This is from the Titanic Tarot.
Wow.
So, and I like this one. It's been washed up on the shore. Got the little white star flag there. Come on, focus,
Mm-hmm.
focus. So, yeah. Oh, you don't want to focus today. This camera's really annoying me. But yeah, so yeah, it's washed up on the shore there. That's actually quite sad. It makes me feel quite sad. This,
Oh, yeah.
if it wasn't from the Titanic deck and it was something like, pirate deck or treasure or something like that that had a theme like that, I'd live. But the fact it's come from Titanic. I mean, the other thing is gold doesn't wash up on a beach. I don't think so. So it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of poetic license there. But that's actually quite sad, I think, because it's
Uh-huh.
obviously the story that goes with it, but
Mm-hmm.
still
Yeah,
very nice.
it is still nice. Well, I have the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, and
Ooh.
fair warning, people, I have written on my cards with a black Sharpie, so do not panic. But this reminds me of the was it the green? No, the Druid craft.
Yeah.
And so we have the flow, and I actually wrote on this: feel yourself, feel yourself. No, feel yourself. Remember, and then memory. So it's
Mm.
like it's one of those things that I it's a different image, but I appreciate it.
I'm having trouble seeing the cup in it. Is it
Well, it's not. There's
the
not
face of
reaching.
the cup? Mm.
How about the cup is the pool right there?
Okay. I wondered if it was like a large stemmed wine glass and I
No.
wasn't getting it. I see it now. Yes.
So, and you see the overflow.
I like that. There's some comments here. Lynn says fishes are swimming in the waters of life. Deanne says if we view ourselves as the cup Grail and its fancy, that's a testament to how special we are. I often read the Ace of Cups as recognition of self and therefore higher self. Loving it. Sorry if I've missed your comments out. Lots of really lovely stuff going on here. I think hello Kathy. I think my fave is the Robin Hood. I find it to be a powerful image. Do you have it there, Gerald? Is that in
I
your
don't
card?
have it there because I was like on you were it was different things, but yeah. I can right over there.
And Deanne says, well, Richie, it'll be picked up by another person to be filled and refilled. I love your positivity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And Robin says, how do you relate the Ace of Cups to the Page of Cups and its fish? Wasn't a fish related to Jesus or something? I think it's the symbol, wasn't it, of Christianity? It's the early symbol. They used to
Yes.
draw a fish on there to
Mhm.
let people know.
Well, and it makes sense that the page would be holding the ace, the cup from the ace, because then it's moving into the active phase in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Linda's been a font of knowledge today, hasn't she?
Her ace of cups has just been overflowing with knowledge.
Overflowing
Yeah,
generously. Yeah.
generously.
Sarah has to go. She's got to go and play D&D. Take care, my
Bye.
lovely. Loaves and fishes, says Carla. Absolutely. Yeah. And Marisa says Jesus called himself the fish of men. A fish was a secret symbol of fledgling Christianity. There we go, Jinx. You guys are all at it again, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's as though he picked up that cup right from the beach. Oh, Linda says Linda is old. Linda reads a lot.
I'm going to move, so I'm hiding
Okay.
from myself. So
I'm going to show one of mine next, which, well, this is an interesting one. Well, it's from a very interesting deck. It's the White Fly Tarot. Okay.
oh, you've talked about this, haven't you?
We have. Now, I do like the aces. All the aces look the same, but it's very different from the ones we've looked at so far. So let's see if the camera will focus on that one.
Oh, look at that.
So we've got these kind of cowled or cloaked black characters that are levitating the symbols of the suits.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that the cup here is really glowing. It's it's a very unusual image,
Yeah.
and one that you would probably find quite difficult to tie in with what we've been talking about, the Christian Grail there. But it almost looks like it's being used in some form of a mass or another. Perhaps you could say that.
Yeah, it's floating. I like that.
Yeah. Interesting to see what people thought about that one there.
Beth said that one is very ritualistic, and
Yeah.
it's like a soul light.
Yeah. Yeah, like a soul light.
And another offering. Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Unusual deck, that one there.
Here's the Robin Wood.
Oh.
So
that is nice.
It is, yeah. And one of the things she talks about in the book is, as you're looking at this, sometimes the water looks like it's free flowing, or the cup looks like it's encased in ice.
Yes.
And yeah, so it's a pretty image for me.
Has that got fish down the side of it on the design of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
More fish right there.
Yeah.
So I think the traditional images are available.
Yeah. Deanne's singing just like witches at black masses. And Maruta says the top of yours looks very frothy.
Excuse me?
It looks very frothy. I thought that the top of your yeah.
Oh, the top of this cup. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's got some beer or something. It's got a big head on it.
And what's funny is because I was not going to pull this. And when I pulled the deck out, that was the one that was on the top. I thought, okay, obviously you want to be seen. So, speaking of frothy,
I
have from the Ink Witch.
Oh.
Here you go. Looks like a latte with a heart on it, and somebody might be handing it to people. And
I like that.
Yeah, it's a very nice image, and and I'll use this opportunity to say on Tuesday there's a deck casual with the creator on my channel. Richie knew I was going to do that. But it's a good image. It's there's that sense of offering.
Yeah. And warmth.
Yes.
When you've got these cups that are dripping water, it's kind of got that very possibly cold. Yeah, quite cold sometimes sense out of it.
Yes. Which is unfortunate.
Kathy says, I love the sunrise and feeling of dawn to dawn of a new day in the Robin Wood. Thank you, Gerald.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely.
Here to help.
And Callus, the Grail quest is supposed to represent man's search for Christ's perfection. And Linda says, oh my God, I'm reading your mind now, Gerald. That's a dangerous place to be going there, Linda. I would reverse out of that one straight away.
Beep, 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 beep.
And I like that. The mundane becomes the sacred, Gerald.
Well, but that's actually that's a very important point. It's how do we elevate our existence? How do you take that hot cross bun and it's part of it is it's like, okay, you think about all of it in the association. So
yeah.
And there's a question: would Jesus love a latte?
Yeah, just a little one.
I think he might have two. I mean, come on, the guy's got to have energy. Actually, he would take one and feed a crowd, and a whole lot of hot cross.
Everyone would be awake.
Everyone would be awake. Well, you have to for the Sermon on the Mount. It could go on too long. I don't know. You know.
Oh, look, who's here? Hello, Candy, Soil and Soil, my lovely. Soil and Soil, excuse me. Don't try and talk when you've got a hot cross bun in your mouth.
Hi, Candy.
Lovely to see you here. Hi, Candy, Candy. Hannah says if Richie would only hand his hot cross bun to someone else, he could bring love and share into the community. There's not much of it left, I'm sorry to say.
It would be funny if I actually had a hot cross bun and I could actually have you handed me one, but
you can do that with biscuits, but hot cross buns, they don't travel well.
They don't. So I'm going to share the Shadowland Tarot.
Oh, go on then.
And Jane and I were using this, and here's the Ace of Cups from the Shadowland.
Wow. I love that fish on it.
I love the fish on it. It's got a party hat and a noisemaker, and I like how the cup is coming out of the water, because it's actually got a saucer. Come on. It's a proper
out of the lake.
Yes.
That's a wild card.
It's the lady of the lake holding up the chalice, right? Offering you a cup of tea.
And with a fish in it.
Well,
with
yeah.
A party hat on. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah, but this is also, I mean, it's very much a celebration. So.
Yeah. I like her nails.
Yeah, those could cause some damage.
Yeah, and
like my nails.
Very formal. Got a sauce and everything.
Oh, here, I should be doing this because you can tell I'm right-handed. A watery tart, yeah.
And she's stolen the cup from the page.
Oh.
The watery tart flinging cups at people. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm going to go for this one.
Yes. Oh, I almost got that one out.
Oh, would you happen to remember which deck this is from?
It is from the Tarot of the Starbound.
No, it's not. I don't have that one yet, do I? Yet. The other one.
It's from the Ellis Tarot.
It is the Ellis Tarot.
God.
And I like this for the simplicity of it.
Yes.
Come on, camera. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. Yeah, I like the simplicity, and I like the medium that it's been done in. I like the waves rolling around it, and I like the design on the cup. It's got that.
I do too.
It's got what you need with a chalice, isn't it? It's got that.
Yeah.
It's just there, simple, sun shining on it. It's a lovely, joyful image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Candy got it first, the Ellis, so 10 points to Gryffindor.
There you go. Congratulations.
Oh, and Linda said that one seems to be authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it is. Yeah.
Well,
it's nice colors. It works together really well.
Yeah.
And it's not too busy. Sometimes a lot of the ones we've looked at are very detailed, or they flipped it so you've got coffees or hands coming out of ponds with fish in them, and they're making you work for them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this does what it says on the tin, and it does it really well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So remember how we said we don't see anybody drinking out of the cup?
Yeah, never seen anyone drinking out the cup.
Well, in the Tarot Avatara by Gabby Angus West, they're sort of drinking out of it. And, the water is coming reversed. And so this one is very different, but they are actually very. This is about falling in love and all of the emotions around it. So I'll just hold that one up there.
I'm keeping quiet about this one. The jury is out on this one, I have to be honest.
No, I understand that. I think the Candy likes this deck, and one of the
Yeah.
things about this deck is it challenges me, and this is one where for me taking the time to read the journal entries would help a lot, but
Hmm.
also seeing it in context.
I like it. I do like it.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for it.
Oh, sorry.
I needed no. I just needed a warning. It's about the lapping noise. It's a bit noisy.
Yeah.
I can hear that noise, and I'm not a fan of slurping.
Oh, I'm not either. All of the images are there. All of the symbols are there.
It's all there.
It's all there.
Don't quite know where to look first.
Yeah. Well, and it's the Terra Avatar. It's Gabby Angus West, so you have to look at it in multiple times.
Yeah.
So true.
Okay, I'm going to give you this one, and I've completely forgotten what the name of the deck is.
Is that a nipple?
Well, it can be if you want it to be.
Okay.
I think it's a doorway. Oh, it might be. It's Andreastes. I can't remember it. Somebody will remember it.
Okay.
I'm really sorry about my camera.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because the city is in the cup, and then the liquid is coming out.
Almost like it's a. I'm not going to say like a sewer because I think that's wrong because it's actually really nice, but it's kind of all the liquid is pouring out from the city there and filling it up there. Oh my God, what's it called? My mind's gone. I'm sorry.
Okay, but let me ask you, what is it about that you really like?
I like the fact that the city was inside the cup, and I always like the childish images in this deck. And I like the fact that it's just a bit unusual. It's a bit Monty Python, actually.
Yes. I can see that.
Yeah.
Can absolutely
Book
see
of Shadows. Thank you, Maruta. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Maruta.
Maruta gets
10
point.
points Ravenclaw.
And Robin says the Marseille Ace of Cups look like cities in a cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Queen of Cups in the Marseille and a lot of tarot decks looks like she has the cup is very complicated. It looks like I could see where it has
like hanging, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's got sharp blades and things off it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best couldn't read with that. It hurts the Virgo in me. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the Dream Keepers Tarot, Robin and I were talking about this. Here's the Ace of Cups where there's actually the hand is being held, or the cup is being held by a hand, and then you have a ballerina actually reaching up to grab it. So you actually have more than you have somebody handing it off, but you actually have an active person going up to grab it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I was just looking at what's a different approach to this. So
I've gone for Stephen Bright.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Stephen Bright. I like that deck.
I like this deck. I like everything about this deck. I like the colors. I like the way the hand is balanced. I like cups that do that with a shadow. Not quite with this, but it's a bit like that optical illusion, whether you see two faces or a cup. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Oh, yeah.
I like all the birds and the blossom in the background. This is a card for Easter. It's an Easter card. I kind of get Easter weather out of this one and nature.
I like that. And I like the thank you for reminding me about the power of the optical illusion.
It could actually be two people looking at one another.
It could be.
Noses, but yes.
Yeah. So Here's something completely different. This is the new Cosmosis Tarot. This is very different. It's called Love, and we have a heart, the figure of a human heart around a big, symbol of a heart. And then down here, we have a cup with something being poured in it. And then we have this union of elephants above it. I haven't read with this deck. I just got it. But I thought
That's a lot going on right there.
There is, isn't it?
I'd have to unpack that one. I'm not averse to it. Quite like the border.
Yeah, I mean, so this is brand new, and it's like, So, but do you want me to show you something to clean your palette after that?
I'd like that. Yeah. Yeah. I feel I'm settled after that one.
And so the next one that I have is from the Miss Cleo tarot deck.
Now, you had to explain to me who Miss Cleo was, didn't you? Because
I did.
But now I know. So Miss Cleo's sadly no longer with us. But let's have a look. We had to Google that, didn't we?
Well, you didn't. You just said, "Hey, Google."
So this is based on Egyptian.
It looks very Egyptian, and there are so many. It's multicultural, and it's just a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, and
this was made in the 80s, wasn't it?
This was actually 2001 was
okay.
This is copyright.
But she foresaw, e-watches, because that is a smart watch that person's got on.
A smart watch, and what's that beverage, that drink that gives you wings or something like that?
Oh, Red Bull, yeah. And also your nail color matches.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, there you go. So anyhow, I thought I'd share that one. It's clear. Well, I was like going, I have this deck, and I was just like going, maybe if I could get Miss Cleo on to come on to do a deck casual with me, and it's like I'd have to, use a spirit board or something.
Huh?
That would be very interesting.
Yeah. It's a calculator Casio watch. It's a nice deck though. I like. What's the card quality in that look like? Usual 2000.
It's it's copyright that. It's okay.
I'm just putting.
Oh, here, look. I'm the actual hand. It's handing me the cup.
For any of you had your tiny hand to hand your hand to hand.
Jamie's watching. I will not do that to her. If anybody wants to do a Miss Cleo deck casual, please contact me.
Lots of love for the Anna K here. But Carla Lizzie says, I've heard people say that Miss Cleo is actually a great reader. Could be.
She actually, if you watch the commercials or the infomercials and you see what she was reading, they're on. I understand. Oh, Robin said he could do that.
There you go.
A deck casual.
Write it down.
Oh, I've got it. I'm still here. Pay attention.
Okay, I'm going on to the next one, which is the Architect's Tarot. This is interesting because it's like a massive. I'm not even going to say fountain. It's like a sort of water reservoir or one of those water. What do you have in the States, don't you? Those big water towery things. What's it called?
Yes.
But it's got that kind of reservoir filling up. But yeah. I like how this ace is kind of surrounded by walls. It's kind of got space, and yet it's also protected. This thing's got two little eyes. What is that?
Yeah, what are those?
There's two little holes in it. I don't know what they stand for.
I like that Architect's deck. It's a
I like the
curious.
fact that all the borders, this has got a blue border for the water. All the borders are different. And they all join up so that you can lay out all the suit and they go from one to another.
Oh, really?
So this really is the start um, of the ace, the start of the suit, and then the two will connect up to the wall and three. So, but also you've got this little kind of walkway coming in there. So it's nice. I like the space that this thing creates.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go for this one, which is the Forest of Enchantment. We're going back to our swans again. But this is nice because it's the swan has got a tiara and a diamond necklace on in the reflection. This is the Ace of Visions they are in this deck.
Ace of Visions. And which deck is that? The Forest of Enchantment?
Forest of Enchantment.
Okay. Which I have sitting over there, which I've not done anything with yet. I was actually looking for, I'm pulling out my Anna K.
Okay.
So let's see if I can actually find the right one, because the last time I pulled an Anna K out on Sunday with Rosemary from Good Journeys Tarot, I pulled out what I thought was the Knight of Swords, and it was actually the Knight of Cups.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the Anna K. I like that. We have a bigger perspective.
Can I be honest?
Of course you can be.
There's many a time I've put my Anna K into a shopping basket and never checked it out. There's something about this deck. I don't think I like the yellow backgrounds.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's something that I would really like to have a copy, but there's something about it stops me. Perhaps it's my soul's too dark for such a bright, wonderful, colourful, cheerful deck.
I wouldn't call the Anna K a bright, cheerful, colorful deck. It's definitely, yeah.
Nice though. I like the willow. I like the silver birch tree.
Yeah, and this is one I need to I could actually get out and do some stuff with. Have to keep you turning back in,
I had a brief chatty exchange with Annika about the Five of Swords. Very interesting lady. And reminds me of Mara. Is that Mara?
Mara Loon. Yeah, Mara Loon.
Oh, does it go quite dark? The images I've seen, okay, I take it back. The images I've seen have always been quite bright and children kind of, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the deck. Oh, if you get a copy order from the indie direct from Anna Nostria, it's a darker. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Oh,
yeah.
I will get one day. I will when the time is right. But it's just interesting that I think Ben is selling a copy of it, isn't it, on his clear out? And
you may want to talk to Ben. Ben.
Yeah, I did have a think about it. I think it's the mass market one, but I will talk to him when he's feeling better.
Yeah,
I will go and check out a walkthrough. Yeah, it's just the images that I've seen of the Anna K just always strike me as kind of, like I said, but obviously I'm wrong.
Yeah, direct from Anna is the way to go, and okay. That's a deck that it's the images are very provocative, and I did a deck casual with the three girls, one deck. We talked about the Anna K. So, yeah. So I have a challenge for you, Richie.
Okay.
Because after this, I have 4 decks left that I don't have to show. But can you tell me where this deck, where this Ace of Cups is from?
I certainly can. It's from the lovely Emma Zhang. Now, is that version 1 or version 2?
This is version 2.
Good.
So.
And the title of it's completely gone again.
It's the Dream Vision Tarot.
Dream Vision version 1 or version 2.
There's version 2. She's working on her second one, but this isn't.
Have you seen the images for the new one she's doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous, isn't it? That's really.
I thought I was like, oh, it's Richie. I want to show that.
I nearly got mine out today. Actually, it's amazing. We went for similar cards. Right, prepare yourself, people. It's Labanco time.
Oh my God! Is that person's head under the water?
Yeah. Well, they're sticking their head into the cup.
Wow, that's provocative.
Yeah.
I shouted that. Apologies.
Oh, I like that. People are turning their sound down across the world.
That's very provocative.
But yeah, it's again really interesting. Why? I mean, this is a provocative deck.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the way that it's done. I like the colors of this one.
Yeah. And it does look like the cup is actually swirling in water itself.
Yeah.
But the cup is filled with a liquid which is turning dark or black like your soul. Mm-hmm. So is that you and your head and you pouring out your heart?
When I had hair, yeah. Yeah. Or it could be when I've gone for a really long walk and I'm super thirsty and I just stick my head in rather than actually, drinking from a cup. I stick my head into the cup to drink it.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah.
And that's the Labanco.
And as Nancy says, leave it to me to appear at the Labanco time.
Speaking of Nancy.
Yeah.
Nancy's going to be reading with us for our Longstash Beltane in a couple of weeks. Actually, when is that? Let me see. It's in 3 weeks.
End of this month, isn't it?
On the 28th, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And as Linda says, drowning in the cup of love.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other places to wash your hair.
Oh, gosh.
Whole head in instead of whole heart for cups. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
Give me a black coffee stat. Beth says, I love that for an art exhibit, but not in a tarot deck, if that makes sense. I totally get that.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right, Maruta. It reminds me of the memory pool thing in Harry Potter. Yeah.
Oh, that's a movie that if Ben were here, he'd ask me if I'd seen, and I've not seen the Harry Potter. So.
But he's not here. So we won't ask that. Ben. Get well soon, Ben.
Yes. Oh, and Nancy said, I'm getting my fans and crowns ready.
Hey. Green faces is belting.
This is the Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot. And everybody be amazed because there's sacred geometry in the background.
Yes.
And that's why I pulled this one out. I appreciate the sacred geometry around it and the bee, and it's pretty.
It's lovely. Again, quite a fancy cup.
It is a fancy cup.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Now I'm going to be paying attention to the fanciness of the cups. That's an important thing. Yeah.
Well, this is quite a fancy one. But what I like about this one is we've actually got almost a whole person here. This is from the Divine Diversity. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, it could be more about the bee than the cup, and it's about the nectar. Yeah.
Come on. So there we go. So there we go. Got a very fancy cup. Same image, dove, wafer, holy wafer there. But this time we've got this blue, godlike creature with a very nice beard. Can I just say that? He's got a kind of Ganymede thing going on. Ganymede was the cupbearer of Jupiter, or Zeus, wasn't he? So,
Yeah. Oh, and Calilizzi is that's an attractive blue man.
Yeah. If you're going to have your men blue, you want them to be attractive, don't you?
What did you say? If you want to have your men blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Blue. What did you think I said?
It'll be for the after show.
Easter weekend. Come on.
Easter weekend. Oh my
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
And Beth, the that is from the Journey of the Sacred Bee, not the Keeper. So it's from the first one.
Hot guy. Yes. Sometimes you just need to have hot guys on there. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, hot guys it's easy to read it's easy to read hot guys when you're a hot guy, right, Richie? I mean, what's that like?
Well, I'm all in blue today and got a beard. So, it's basically modeled on me, isn't it? Hang on a moment.
That's what I heard.
It's the same. Ooh.
This is the true black. And this is the art in this deck is beautiful. I mean, or she loves that. So it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
So
very peaceful, that.
Well, yeah, and this one it's a clear glass. So, and it's actually doesn't have a stem, so because all of this down here is actually the water flowing out. So there you go.
I'm down to 2 more.
I am down to 2 more as well. We planned that well.
We did. Well, I'm going for an oldie but a classic here.
Ooh. Oh, is that the Morgan Greer?
Morgan Greer.
Woohoo!
Now, please do not take this the wrong way. All right.
Okay.
Bite on something, Gerald, if you need to for the next statement. I like the way that this person's got a firm grip on the stem of that cup.
Yes. They are very sure of themselves on the shaft of the chalice.
There you go. Not so keen on the dove because it does look a bit like a pigeon. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But it's quite busy for the Ace of Cups card. I think there's quite a lot going on there.
But I actually think I agree with you. You are, a lot of times we see people holding these chalices just sort of, with pinky out and all that stuff. Yeah, right. Or that. And this is like what I have, it's like, boom, I have this. This is, I am in control.
Yeah.
Or it's like deity saying, here, take this cup.
Yeah.
You take have no choice.
Sip.
sip. Oh my God.
Well, we're nearly there.
Okay, so this next one is
red bobbins. We're back to the blue man again, aren't we?
We're not talking about swords, and we're certainly not talking about wands. I mean, we can't talk about wands without Ben here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lilies again. No, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Beth, for steering us back around out of this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. And she's actually added some more to that. Yeah. So it's nice.
Grab the opportunity when it presents itself.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Linda, how are the birds?
Yes. How are Richie and Gerald?
And Geraldine, I think, was what, so
Oh,
revolution.
go for it. Ooh, pretty.
And
And reverse. It's really water. Yeah, you can see it's really flowing out, can't you?
yes. And I like how the stem is actually a person.
Oh, I never saw that before.
Right there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. And it's interesting you picked that one to the last, because my last one is the Tarot of Oppositions. Again,
Oh my God, I love that.
Double-sided card. So we have our positive upright there, and our negative.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this one because it's a real feel like there's a tug of war going on between these two planes, these positive and negative energies.
Yes. Yes.
But interestingly, you've got the lilies again on that one there, and on the other side of it, it's just wasteland and not very nice. But no water at all in that one. That's really
No, that's interesting.
not full.
I need to pull out my tarot of oppositions. That's a nice one.
Mm.
And just for good measure, this is the 5 cent tarot.
Oh.
And one of the things that I appreciate about this is I like how we see the water being poured into the cup, and then we have all of these associated things with having a cup of tea.
Mm.
So,
what are the keywords on it?
New love, creativity, affirmation, and then reversed is change of heart, self-love, and rejection. So,
Beautiful.
mm-hmm.
Is that your last one?
That is.
We timed that so well, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Nice goblet. Very nice. I like that. Calla says, I like the Tarot of Oppositions. Both sides are very good depiction.
Yes.
Nancy's asking talking about the Holy Grail. When will there be a Monty Python deck? Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It better be good and funny.
Yeah, that's the problem. They got to get it right, haven't they?
Yeah.
Update on the birds. Gerald and Richie are out of the cage for the first time today. Yay! Gerald is flying all over the apartment. Of course he is. Richie is less adventurous. They're keeping up to their namesakes.
There you go.
They're very happy, though. I'm very, very pleased. Oh, Lynn says they create so much joy.
Oh, that's good.
And I think she's talking about the birds, not us. Although it could be both.
It could be both. I mean, there's, miracles happen. I mean, tomorrow, there's the resurrection. So,
yeah, absolutely. Here in New York, we call it a nickel, says Robin.
What did that relate to? Oh, a 5 cent. Okay. Sorry.
5 cents. Does self-love actually mean selfishness? No.
No. Yeah, listen to us. No. Scene, mic drop, we're done.
And that's as I've just grabbed my Green Witch. There's a nice ace of challenges. I don't have the Green Witch one, actually.
I don't think I have the Green Witch.
And Vanessa says, I'm still listening. I keep getting into locations where the reception is bad. I have to say your backgrounds are cool. It's fire and ice.
I love that. Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you. Thank you. And lots of laughter and emojis from Linda here. I think it's both, she says. And Lynn says, I meant in the meaning of the Ace of Cups I meant in the meaning of the Ace of Cups in the 5-cent tarot. I think I understand. It can mean selfishness.
Yeah, because it is in the negative. It's in the reverse meaning.
It's a positive expression. It's self-care. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that deck.
I do too. You finally got your copy.
Yes, I've only used it a couple of times. It's quite a big deck, I've always found. This is a big deck, though. So we're going to go back to... So, Gerald, we're going to wrap this one up, my lovely. What have we learnt about the Ace of Cups?
That the M could be wisdom or Mary. That there's a lot of wisdom with it, and a lot of it is... Part of it is the quest for it.
Yes.
So we'll say that.
I've learnt when you're passed or given the Ace of Cups, when it appears, hold on to it, grasp it tight, yeah, and don't necessarily, and make sure you drink out of it, because not many people do. So make sure your thirst is quenched.
Yes. Ooh, that's good. Very good.
It takes a lot to fill up the Ace of Cups, says Robin.
Yeah. And people, if you're watching this back, leave a comment to let us know if you know of a suit or a deck that gives people drinking out of the Ace of Cups.
Make sure there's something left in the pot.
Yes.
And bring another cookie if the dove wants seconds. Nancy says, I thought the W meant woman.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Anyone else? Pop into comments what you think, what you've got out of today. Gerald, what have you got coming up in the next few days?
Well, in the next hour or so, I'm going to be putting back a few decks.
Yeah, I might put mine off till tomorrow.
I will look for my Tarot of Oppositions.
Yes.
But on Monday on my channel, I have Allie from Heart and Soul Connected coming on. Looking forward to that. And then my deck casual for the Ink Witch with Eric is on Tuesday, and we're talking about the Ink Witch and the Endless Oracle. And when I say we, that means Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, will be joining us.
So no small hands.
There will be no small hands.
Yeah, I think it's the best.
I think so. What about you? What's coming up, Richie?
Well, I'm going away for a few days next week, so I'm hopefully going to be back in time for Friday. But if not, dang, what for that? I'd just get my file of facts out here. Let's have a little flick through. Got to update this, Gerald. We have got, we did talk about this actually, haven't we? Beltane on 28th, but Friday the 21st, brush your leggings off. We're doing Marchetti. We're having an evening of Marchetti, aren't we?
We are.
We're showing off our Marchetti decks and talking about Marchetti decks and being optimistic about our Marchetti decks.
And I have opinions about the Marchetti decks.
I have opinions about Marchetti decks, and I want to see what people think about them, and I want to share people's thoughts about them, and I want to get to know my Marchetti decks better.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all you need to say.
I see. So, Vanessa says, I'll be watching the whole live as soon as I get home interrupted. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you.
It is. And listen to us at double speed so that, we're even funnier.
Or slower, because we sound like whales.
Yes.
Linda says, I learned what a whole lot of symbolism in Christianity is Christianity based. Yep.
Yes.
So I feel less intimidated about reading tarot. Marchetti decks deserve Argyle pantaloons. Marchetti, smoking jackets and good wine. Vanessa says, I've heard in bits and pieces, blue wands and swords, connection interruptions. Oh, it will all make, well, it might not make sense, but hopefully it will make sense when you watch it all together.
Vanessa recently purchased this, and I hope you're enjoying
it. That's sweet. There's a lot of Christian symbolism that people who haven't had that background can have trouble with. Absolutely, Carla. Yeah. But Carla's probably made the best point of the evening. I've learned that the guy girl holding the cup is likely to be hot and possibly blue. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Easter. Gerald, my lovely, thank you for joining me today.
You.
It's been a lot of fun. Take care, everyone, and see you soon.